Hi everyone and welcome back to the last lesson of week 4. So by the end of today you should be able to finish the rest of your story. The first thing we're going to look at today is some work which has been sent in from some of the children. We're going to start off by looking at Tom's from 6AA. A beautiful apparition of a girl with long flowing black hair and a sleek dove white gown stood upon the pirate ship. Grasping her brightly lit lamp, she seemed afraid. So the legend of the captured princess was true. She waited in silence as the ghostly ship, with its clanking chains and sorrowful cries of dimmonist pirates, disappeared into the sinister swirling black clouds. Wow, Tom, that's amazing. You've really used some lovely vocabulary to support the reader's imagery. Your second paragraph also has aspects of your setting description that you wrote earlier in the week, and that's a really nice way of ending your story, so well done, good boy. The next one I'm going to look at is Amy, who's also from 6A. Hidden amongst these monstrosities was a girl, a very mysterious girl indeed. She seemed all too familiar with the anticipation she felt. Her pale skin almost reflected her dress. She was ghostly white and frightfully innocent. A lantern set an unwelcoming glow into the mist, revealing the outline of what could be her doom or destiny. Overwhelmed by her predicament, the braveness of the girl was gone. She appeared a lonely girl, lost in the world, trying to escape by taking that next step. Wow, Amy, that's amazing. I really want to read on and work out what that next step is. You've also used a really good range of punctuation in here as well. And I like the way that you've said that the situation could go either way, whether it could be doom or destiny. So today we are going to be creating a story map and finishing the rest of our story. Your extra activity is to draw a picture of the ship or the building if you have used the building instead of the ship for your story. I'm going to start off by looking at the story plan that I've created for my story. Now, as you can see, I've also included paragraph 1 and 2, but we've already discussed those in more detail in the previous videos. So I'm going to go into more detail for paragraph 3, 4 and 5. The whole point of using the story plan is to help continuity in our writing and make sure it flows. It helps me know where I'm going, so I'm not repeating things and I'm not taking things off on a tangent as well. Within each section, it also gives a brief outline of what I'm going to discuss in my paragraph. And I've also included writing techniques under each paragraph as well. Like, for example, in number 5, I've got a modal verb question, and these are just different ways that I can use to engage the reader. You can also see at the side, I've got my smiley face and my sad face, and this helps me with the type of vocab that I'm going to use within the story as well, so I know whether to use a negative word or a positive word. On this slide, I've got my final finished story, so I'm going to read through it, and then we're going to have a little look at the last 3 paragraphs and what I've included in it. All was silent among the fog-stricken river. Minute waves rippled, battling for domination as they overlapped one another in the eerie breeze. The air was so thick with fog that you could barely see anything in the distance. Intriguingly, the only thing that could be spotted was a dark shadow lurking in the remoteness. A young girl floated effortlessly upon the water. Her ghostly figure was reflected into the glass-like lake below. Dressed in pure white and only holding a lantern, she stared emotionless into the open. Nobody knew why such an innocent-looking girl was inhabiting such a haunted place, but she looked comfortable here. It was almost as if this ominous city had been graced with her presence for decades. Without warning, the girl started her endeavour. As she moved through the water, the wind whispered words of warning. However, she persisted, ignoring all the voices in her subconscious. Surrounded by the night's sinister embrace, the girl's feeling of anticipation rose. She was nearly at her destination. The eerie shadow finally revealed itself, standing before the sweet girl with a derelict building. A look of accomplishment appeared on her face. After entering the abandoned building, she paused to take in her surroundings. All that could be seen were bare walls and wooden floorboards, but for her this place felt like home. The girl continued to survey the building in awe and thought about all the possible memories that could be made here. Could this be the solace this pure girl deserved? Outside, the minute waves rippled in the eerie breeze, while the thick fog began to encase the once abandoned building. For paragraph 3, I have used Miss Shuttleworth's sentences from yesterday for personification, because that's the main writing technique I want to include in this paragraph. At the end of my paragraph, I've also used a colon. I'm going to explain to you why this colon works here. This colon works because I am explaining why anticipation rose within her. So we know that the anticipation rose within her because she was nearly at her destination. For paragraph 4, I've decided that I want to reveal what the eerie shadow was. And I've used a semicolon here because I've got 2 independent clauses that have a clear link between them. I've also decided that I wanted to create a contrast that even though this was a horrible place, it felt like home to her. And I'm trying to suggest that she's come from a worse off situation. In paragraph 5, I've used a modal verb question, and this has been used to provoke the reader to think. And also, I have used repetition in my ending, where I have repeated parts of the setting description at the end, and this is just a really nice way of finishing the story off. So your job is to go and finish your story for me. I cannot wait to hear your final pieces and see the pictures that you create as well. I'm hoping at the end of next week to create another video of all of your stories. So I'm going to choose some of them and I'm going to read them, and then we're going to have a little look at some of the fantastic work that you've been doing. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye!